welcome to my channel. I am Elaine. In one of my earlier vlogs, I think last month, I started to recover some of my Wordsworth editions. I'm talking about these guys. These guys with their amazing stock photo covers. I don't know what they're made out of, but they tend to be kind of bad quality. The paint tends to chip, and also like the photos are just pretty bad. So I got some paper and changed the covers on them. This is my edition of Wives and Daughters now. This is my edition of Dracula. I think this is probably my favorite one. This is Pride and Prejudice, The Great Gatsby, The Great Gatsby, and then this is North and South. Now it's kind of hard to tell, I think, on the screen there that the paper is that little bit thicker. Most of these papers that I've used are kind of textured, which I will show you if I can in a moment. So the papers are that little bit thicker, so it's not exactly like, whoops, it's not exactly like just wrapping the pictures, wrapping the books in like wrapping paper, because that's really thin. What I've used is craft papers, which are almost like card, though not as thick. They're like a thin card or a thick paper. And what I use the most is this range Santoro, which is a company based in London, and they have these books. You can get them on Amazon. They have these books full of paper, like an A4 premium paper pad, and the pages are 200 GSM cardstock. So they are thick, but not too thick that it's difficult to bend the pages. They still fold over quite easily. Some of the pages are textured almost like canvas, like this one is a textured one, and some of them are embossed slightly. This one is an embossed page, so the print is kind of raised off it. I don't know if you can see that. I like to add another page on the inside then, just to make sure the cover is nice and strong. Just on the front, just some patterned paper, kind of like the way the old books used to be, because these are quite thin as well. So just to keep the books nice and strong. When I'm doing it, I don't glue down the edge here, so this part isn't glued. And I added this little ribbon and little kind of just a little square of patterned paper, and I wrote the book title on it just so I'd know what is under the cover, and then that can also be used as a bookmark while reading. So now I'll just go through wrapping a book so you can see how I do it, and you can just do it yourself then as well if you want to. So I have a few books here to do. I have a good few of the Wordsworth editions, so I have a few books here that I need to cover, and I have a few types of paper. This is just a thin patterned paper. I have them for the inside, so leave them there, and I have my Santoro paper, and I also have this paper that I got in the Works, and just like this, I got this in the Works, and this is slightly thicker than the Santoro paper. This is 230 GSM, so they're a little bit thicker, but that's fine. And these are all kind of a vintagey look on these guys. They're like maps and stuff like that. They are patterned on both sides, which I wouldn't like to use them kind of for covering the books because they're patterned on both sides, because it feels like kind of a waste of the pattern on one side. Though if I dislike the pattern on one side, then that's totally fine. Like this one has nice musical notes. This one has nice musical notes on one side, and then just this funny kind of grungy thing on the other side. So we'll have a look through now and pick out some paper that I would like to use. I probably wouldn't use anything like stamps and stuff like that, or the ones that are maps. I probably wouldn't use those for book covers. Like, you could use whatever the heck you wanted to. It's just I prefer them to be kind of a uniform pattern like this. So you need very little to do this, just your paper, scissors, a Pritt stick, and, or I think you call it Elmer's in the US. It's just a glue stick. So that one is empty. but just a stick of glue and some scotch tape or sellotape, whatever. And then we're just gonna wrap the book in the paper. So it is slightly too big, and that's what we want. We want it to go over the edges. So we're just gonna wrap it and just place it where you want it to go. Just wrap it just to check that there's plenty room around it. Oh, I tore this one loads, it's fine. You just want to make sure there is a good bit of space between the edge of the book and the edge of the paper, so that you have a bit of paper going over the edge, because you want to wrap that around towards the inside. It's going to wrap over the edge like this. So we're just gonna glue the back of the book all along the back, but not along the spine. We're not going to put any glue at all on the spine. Just glue on my finger and then just fold it over and press it down. So it should be totally flat attached to it. And we're going to do the same then on the other side. I think that woman is so freaky looking. I feel like her head doesn't belong on that body, or the face doesn't belong on that body. So we're going to glue the whole front of the cover as well, but no glue along the spine. We're not going to put any at all down there. Doopy-doo-doo-boo. And then we're gonna fold it over and press it down. So it's nice and flat. So you can see here the paper kind of curves around the edge of the book. And we want to make sure that it's really well stuck down along the edge of it. And we're going to fold it over just here and bend it just along the spine. So we're going to fold back the cover and bend it at the edge of the spine, just in like that, just to give it a bit of a crease. So that when you open the book, the paper stays stuck to the cover there and folds, doesn't move off the edge there to go around the spine, So we're going to snip the corners off here. So this bit right here, we're going to snip the corners off each edge, just a line like that across. Not on the actual book cover, just on the paper. Just like that. So you get an edge like that. And now we're going to fold this over and stick it down. So I like to use the scotch tape on this bit. Just I find it works better than the glue. Okay. So we're just going to, when we have the page folded out like that, we just want to snip the corner here, just at where it curves. then I didn't really leave enough space on this edge. You could use the glue instead of the tape here if you wanted to. It's just I prefer the tape. I think it strengthens the edges a bit. And then we do the same at the back. Again, press this down, make sure this bit is stuck completely flat when you press it down along the edge. You want to get that crease along there for the spine. And then snip along that. Oh, you can see. And then you snip along there where it meets the edge. And the same at the other end. Just so you can wrap it around here. And then we're going to just cut this bit off. So yeah. So there's our new version of Lady Chatterley's Lover. I like to add a patterned page on the inside, just like that. I have a few other types of paper as well, kind of plainy ones. You could do whatever you want, you wouldn't have to do this bit. I like to do this, it just adds a bit more strength to the cover, and it reminds me of old-fashioned books, so I like to do it. So I just stick the page in. I normally have it in a tiny bit, so I leave about that much space around the edge. So I'm just going to draw around it just to give myself an idea of where to cut it. I just cut inside the line a little bit. And you could use a blade and a ruler to do this as well, to get better straight lines. So yeah, just stick that inside there then. So that's our new cover. And then for these guys, for the little ribbons, these are the pictures here are just from these kind of types of paper where they have little squares. So I just kind of cut a size that suits the book title. Like that one has a little longer title. So I'm gonna try this one, and I'll just write on the back. Is that a pen? I need a pen. Then I'll just write on the back of it the name of the book and the author. And then I have this lace. You just cut a length of it off and stick the name to it. use a bit of tape and a bit of glue for this just to make sure it's really secure. And then I stick it on the inside just with a bit of tape. And I stick the tape on it with the sticky part, with the sticky side facing towards the paper, because I'm going to stick it to the paper and not to the spine of the book. And I just slide it in there. And then press it against the back. And that's that. So I have my label that tells me what the book is that I can also use as a bookmark. And I have my new copy of Lady Charlie's Lover. So that is how I recover my Wordsworth Editions. There's so many nice papers out there that you could use to recover your books, and you could even get some nice vintage style ones, or ones that are designed like older book covers and stuff like that. You could do some really cool things. If you decide to do this, I would really love to see what you do and what paper you use and where you get your paper from, because I love patterned papers and craft paper and all that sort of stuff. I love it. So please let me know if you do decide to do it as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in the next video.